Hello, 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 and welcome to a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. For those of you who don't know who Uncovering Greatness is or why we do this podcast, so the Uncovering Greatness podcast was created by the Uncovering Greatness team to help those who may not be able to come to our events just yet, maybe get to know us a little bit, where you get to learn from Barry Mitchell and Nicole Mitchell. It is a weekly podcast. We do 2 episodes a week. Teaching. I come up with questions and ideas sometimes, and I put it to them to teach you guys because we really focus on business mindset and personal development, and our mission here at Uncovering Greatness is to make a significant positive impact on the business and entrepreneurial landscape of Africa. Because when we do that, everybody lifts and everybody grows. We change the world. Today, I'm joined by Nicole Mitchell. Nicole is the lead processor at Uncovering Greatness. And what she helps you do is she helps you find out what you want and she helps you get it. Nicole, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Sully. It is good to be with you today.
Just want to clear something up because I know sometimes people can be ridiculous with what I said with Nicole there. Nicole's not gonna, if you want to win the lotto, Nicole's not gonna help you do that. Just so you know. She's very Jew.
It's interesting that phrase. Find out what people want and then help you get it. The question is, how do I help you get it? And so it is by finding out what's stopping you from being in the way of you.
Oh.
Because we all, if we're honest, we are our biggest issue.
If we're honest.
If we're honest, I think you get yourself in the way of you more than anybody else. So, we do that by helping, you get yourself out of the way of you.
And I think this week's episode is directed at you. Yes, you watching this because you're talking accountability, buzzwords. I can't wait to get the new equipment because I want to put buzzwords as one of my prompts. So when we do a topic, I'm gonna say buzzwords. I'm gonna push
Okay.
because accountability is such a big.
Is it a buzzword?
Oh yeah, massive. It's everywhere. People must take accountability for everything, but
And everybody knows exactly how to do that.
because it's super easy. Because
It's
we
very
all we all learned it somewhere. So this, and I wanted to because we want to talk about accountability from a individual perspective and also from a work perspective, right? So this was a survey done in 2022. It was a large survey actually of 40,000 participants. 85% of the respondents indicated they weren't even sure what their organization was trying to achieve. In the same study, 93% of those surveys were unable to align their work or take accountability for desired results.
That is fascinating because the first part of accountability is account, so it's keep a record of.
Yeah.
So, and I just like, if you look up the definition of accounting, the American Heritage Dictionary, it says a narrative or record of events, to a reason given for a particular action or event. And I'm like, if you don't even know that the action or the event is in the business that you're trying to achieve, or how are you going to be accountable?
Yeah. And I feel like because we've done a lot of episodes around contracts and things of that nature, this now makes me go, maybe the employees aren't that wrong because they don't know they don't know what they're doing.
But that's exactly correct. And I mean, I've seen it in our organization is we want to employ somebody, they're going to come in as an admin person. But when I actually sat down to write out what their roles and responsibilities were, it was quite challenging to actually go, well, what do I expect from this person? Because I just want them to do our admin. But what does that actually mean? And do I have clarity on it before I even employ them? Because if I'm bringing them in, I need to be able to say, this is what I expect from you. This is what's going to take up 80% of your day. But a lot of people don't actually know what the job description is, what it entails, that sort of thing. And it is like you kind of go, "Well, what am I expected to do?" But oh, you're expected to, I don't know, for example, do the minutes of a meeting.
Yeah.
But maybe in your business there's 5 managers. Or do you do the minutes of the meeting for all 5 managers? Or do you just do it for one manager? Or do you have to do all the minutes for all the meetings in the company? Or is it, and that's where I think a lot of times there isn't clarity and people can't be held accountable because, like that stat says, there's not clarity on what people are expected to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, which is vital for accountability, like meaning there's no clarity, which is vital for accountability. Because if I can't clearly understand what I'm supposed to be doing, how are you going to hold, not even that, how am I going to hold myself accountable to it? So I come into work on Monday and I'm like, okay, I'm at work. Okay.
Okay, so you're will employ you as the sales rep.
Yes.
Or what are you selling? How many people do you have to do it or call? Or how many, like, is it physical calls? Is it like phone calls? Is it, you know, what
It is.
exactly are your numbers?
Mm.
What do you have to do? How long before you make a sale? All those kind of things. You know, it's fascinating when you actually start to unpack it
Yeah.
and look at and then do you understand what your numbers are? So, I mean, we've seen it in terms of we've employed a new sales rep and they just go, yeah, 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 that sounds great.
100%.
And they have no concept of what the numbers are. And then when you start asking the questions, it's like, you can see this blank look. Like, I don't understand. And it's, you know, it, it's twofold because one, if you don't understand, are you asking the questions? And two, are you are you just saying yes?
So in terms of accountability, so let's use that as the example. I'm the sales director, you employing me. Who's supposed to ask the questions so that we can so that I can be accountable for what needs to be done?
Well, if I'm employing you,
Yeah,
I need to be clear on what I'm employing you to do.
got you.
So what am I employing you to do?
So
And this is where I see it in big corporates. So you employ a sales rep to stand behind the counter.
yes,
So they essentially are an order taker.
yeah, because customers come to
Customers come into them and they go, no, you're a glorified sales rep.
Mhm.
So, but in the true sense of a sales representative is somebody that goes out
and represents
and represents the sales. So they go out and they connect with people. So if you are being employed as a counter salesperson, are you expected to make phone calls to clients when there's no walk-in clients?
interesting that.
So, and this is where it becomes people say, oh, you're going to be in sales, but then, you just become glorified order taker if you're behind the counter.
Mm.
Well, are you clear on that before you start? Is that what you want to do? Is that, are you able to make phone calls and connect with the clients? What is how many, maybe it's how many phone calls are you expected to make on a daily basis? All those kind of things. People are not clear on that when they employ people.
You know, and I think about it. There was a gentleman that came into our sales explosion last year sometime, I think, and he had said his sales team, they're just basically order takers. They wait, people phone the company or people email the company and they do the orders. And now with what you just said, it made me actually, and I wish you had said this to me then, I would have asked him, well, what is the deliverable? Are they meant to actually make phone calls? Are they meant to go out and see customers? Because it didn't seem like that. So there was no clarity, and he was trying to hold them accountable to sales numbers, but I don't even think he was clear on what those numbers were.
And that's the problem is a lot of employers. So let's say, like if I think of people, let's say you get employed at a gym to be a coach,
Mhm.
but the expectation is you have to find clients at that gym. So
Yeah.
you have to bring clients with you. Well, what is the deliverable for that? coach at the gym in terms of sales calls.
Mm. Am I supposed to go out and find clients or call clients? How does this, or
Correct.
what?
And a lot of people just have this expectation, oh, you're being employed as a coach, but you must find clients and you must bring them with you. But there's no measurable or deliverable. So the employee doesn't actually know, are they supposed to, are they, and then it becomes, are you making physical calls or cold calls? So if you're like a gym coach, for example, are you allowed to walk around in the complex that you work in and go and
Knock on doors?
knock on doors? Well, a lot of places today, you're not allowed to do that. It's against the Poppy Act or it's against something. Human rights, who knows what.
It's the Human Rights Foundation. Get out of my space.
But, and that's where it is. It's like, what is the expectation? And when you are being employed, are you very clear on this is how many hours I spend doing this?
Hmm. That's an interesting one, actually.
So, like a PA, for example, are you expected to service the boss's car or not? I mean, it sounds
Crazy, but yeah.
But if you, as a personal assistant, have to, let's say, what is the expectation that you can go to the boss's house and get the keys and fetch the car and leave this, and you drive the car to, what is the actual expectation? Or maybe you have 3 branches, and as a personal assistant, you're expected to keep the keys for all the cars,
Yep.
or you're supposed to have all the cars serviced. Are you aware of that?
Mm.
What are you supposed to do with the cars? Is there a driver that drives the cars, or are you supposed to take the cars to the service station? It's just all of these little things. If you are not clear, because
No mess with accountability, big time.
it will, and also like time frames. Like, do you know how long it takes to call 20 customers?
Mm.
Do you know how long it takes to get 5 cars serviced and to drive the car to, the service station or garage or whatever it is, wherever you take it, as in terms of your job description, how long is that going to take you?
Yeah, because I mean that question you ask around, do you know how long it's going to take to make 20 phone calls? A seasoned salesperson, if you take Barry for example, that may take him 20 minutes, a minute a call. Whereas with a inexperienced salesperson, it may take them 2 hours because whatever they're working through, or maybe it takes them a whole week, but you haven't set the deliverables correctly to say, well, what are you capable of doing? And then it's impossible to kind of hold them accountable. And would you say you're then holding them accountable to your standard versus what they're capable of doing?
Well, it depends on who's employing them, but often that's what people do. Is the expectation is, I can do this, so you should be able to do it. And then it's very difficult to hold someone accountable, because my expectation is going to take 20 minutes to make 20 phone calls, and you're going, but I only made 5. Well, what the heck's wrong with you? What are you doing with your time? And not to say that, you get the opposite, where you employ a smoker and they spend their whole day outside, and you ask them, how many phone calls did you make? Well, I made 10 the whole day, but where were you? And I was outside smoking because, everybody else smokes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go outside and smoke with everybody else, but that there's no context, or, a smoke break is 5 minutes, or even something as simple as your lunch hour. When you take it, how strict is the company on taking it? Are you expected to stay in and work during your lunch hour? Are you not? They seem insignificant, but really they do drive huge issues into a business, because how do you hold somebody accountable if you don't know what is expected of them? Because the word accountable is actually, you're holding somebody to account of their actions. So they need to, one, know what their actions are, and then 2, you keep in a record of their
From their actions.
actions. So as if we take accountability, I'm keeping a record of your abilities.
Mm.
So your abilities are, you're going to make 20 phone calls in, I don't know, an hour. Well, I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to count your hour, like the hour, how many phone calls did you make?
Yeah.
Or I'm going to count and keep track of, how many cars you get serviced
Yep.
in a day. And if you are not clear of those things before you start, how do you hold somebody accountable?
No, you can't. And this is where it gets interesting. It's another source that says 82% of employees felt they had no power to hold anyone accountable in their workplace.
Oh,
Why do you think people struggle to hold other people accountable, especially in a work context?
well, so in our world, Blair Singer calls it stamp collecting.
Ooh.
So he says most people go around stamp collecting.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is they keep track of whenever somebody else does something wrong. So they keep track files. So he's been late to work 5 times this month.
Mm-hmm.
I've only been late once. So that means I have 4 more times this month that I can be late.
Oh.
And so I'm collecting these stamps because I'm going, every time Sully's late, that's 1 stamp.
Oh.
So we go around stamp collecting.
So he did it.
So I did it so I can do it. He was late for the meeting, so I can do it. And so what happens is instead of going, Sully, you're late for the meeting, and making sure that all of us are on time and saying, right, if you are late again, it's a 50 Rand fine.
Yeah.
We go, Sully was late last week, so it's okay if I'm late this week. And we don't look at it from the point of view if that behavior is not acceptable. We go into agreement with the behavior is acceptable. He did it, so I can do it. And we collect stamps. So it's like, oh, it's no cell phones. Well, the guy in the car next to me is driving with his cell phone, so I can drive with my cell phone. He's doing it, so he went through a red traffic light, so I can go through a red traffic light. We don't see that at all in South Africa, do we?
No, I just had a thought. I did that this morning because there was a cop car behind me, and I was like, if they stop me, I'm gonna say, but he also did it. Just shifting the accountability. I will not take accountability.
So I am not
So-
holding myself account to
Yeah.
anything. I'm not keeping record of my own actions. All I'm doing is keeping record of everybody else's actions. Because that way I don't have to be accountable because they're not being accountable. So, and that's, we see it in teams so often is people can't hold people accountable because they can't hold themselves accountable.
Yeah.
So, and especially, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but very much in South Africa, there's this manager mentality. I'm a manager, so I'm entitled to come in late, but you must be here on time.
Yeah.
And then I get pissed off with you because I came in 10 minutes late, but you're not allowed to do that. I'm the man. I get paid to do this. You don't. And it's so, I don't want to say wrong, but it's you want to be able to duplicate yourself. So you want other people to do what you do. So if you are on time, other people are going to be on time. If you are late, other people are going to be late.
Yeah.
And so it's what is your mentality? Are you holding yourself account and making yourself, I've been late 3 times this month. Well, that is not acceptable. Next month I'm only going to be late twice.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Whereas a lot of people are looking at it from the flip side, going, Sully's late. It's okay if I'm late.
Nobody's paying attention except me. I'm watching you. And I'm gonna keep the stamp full.
And then what happens is because we're so busy watching everybody else, we don't think that anybody's watching us. And so we spend all our time watching everybody else. And meanwhile, somewhere somebody's watching you.
Somebody's keeping a captive view.
And when it's promotion time or bonus time or, it's not fair. I didn't get a bonus.
Then you wonder why.
And you can't understand why, but someone somewhere was keeping track of how many days you were late through the year, not just this month. Or how many sick days you had, or and this is where it becomes so challenging because there are certain people in certain organizations who use their sick leave incredibly wisely. They know exactly how many sick days they have. And you kind of think if you spent as much time and effort into doing your job as you put into knowing what you are allowed to get and have and be paid for, you'd actually earn more money because you would probably get promoted faster because you are being accountable to the right things.
That's a flip side for that. That's just flipping the thinking. That's, I mean, because, and like I started saying, that accountability becomes such a buzzword. It's everywhere. It's social media, it's politics, it's all these different areas, but nobody's really saying, well, what is accountability? So like I think this year, well, and last year as well, but like this year in our business, we've worked really hard on accountability and primarily driven by you. What has that experience been like?
Oh, it's it's been a very interesting journey. I will say that, because I went from it's got to be done perfectly, so I became this abuser who was so focused on everything had to be done perfectly that nobody wanted to do anything, and I couldn't hold anyone accountable. Why? Because I was the one doing it. And so I landed up doing everything, and I couldn't understand why nobody in the business was doing anything. And I'd scream and yell at them. And then pretty much what would happen is, things wouldn't get done.
Yep.
And so I had to put systems in place. This is the system. This is what I expect of you. This is what I expect you to do. I expect you to do A, B, C, D. Right? Do you understand why you have to do A, B, C, D? And then, right, go do A, B, C, D. And then I find it would be A, B, C, and then E. But like, what happened to D? No, and then I'd get a story, and then I'd go, okay, where did I go wrong with my teaching?
Interesting.
And I had to look at what have I missed. And then I'd go, okay, cool. And then we'd go back and do it again. And then, okay, cool. Right. Is this helping you guys? Is this making sense? Right. Are you following the process? Right. Let's do it again and do it again. And I had to come to terms with the fact that stuff's not going to get done perfectly. And over time, people are wanting to do it perfectly now because, and I say perfectly is not the right word. People are wanting to do it to the best of their abilities. Why? Because now they are being measured and tracked, and we have systems in place.
Mm.
So, for example, and this is the other thing with accountability, is that person capable of doing that? So, with a brand new sales rep, are they capable of making 100 calls in a day? Well, you better be able to know that. And you better be able to do that. So, it's like, okay, cool. So, can they make 50 calls in a day? Okay, great. So, if you can make 50 calls in a day, that means 50, 100, 50, 200, 50. That's 250 calls in a week that you should be doing.
Yeah.
Right. You committed to the 50 calls. Right. Let's see. On Monday, did you do your 50 calls? No, I did 60. Okay, cool. So on Tuesday, what are you going to do?
40.
No, 50.
Oh, sorry. So
You have to do, you're going to stick to your 50.
Sorry.
Okay. And then on Tuesday, you come and say, oh no, but I only made 40 calls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you still made your 100, but what was different between Monday and Tuesday? Unless people answer their phone on a Tuesday. Or I find on Tuesday before 10 o'clock, no one answered their phone. Or, okay, on Friday, I make my calls. On Friday, I only make 20 calls. Well, what happened on Friday? Well, after 1 o'clock on Friday, no one answered their phone.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're learning how things work. Now I can hold you accountable to the way things work. But if I'm just going, you have to make 50 calls every day, and I'm not stopping to take time to understand why you can make more calls on a Monday than a Friday, or why, I don't know, Tuesdays and Thursdays are better than Wednesdays. But you'll only know that from doing the work. And a lot of times people are not prepared to do the work.
So if I'm understanding right, it's teaching him asking questions, right? It'll allow you to sort of hold somebody accountable better, because if you're asking them,
And it is teaching, it's not telling.
Mm,
And this is a big thing, as most people tell. So you have to make 50 calls.
okay,
And they're not willing to teach you and say, let me show you how to make 50 calls.
yeah, that's true.
And so the expectation is I hired you as a sales rep, so you should be able to make the 50 calls. Because my mate told me that his sales rep is making 50 calls, so you should be able to make 50 calls. Your mate is selling coffee machines. I'm selling,
Tree,
or lounge suites, or,
water bottles. Every industry is so different.
so different. It's the same principles,
Mm.
but each industry has something different. So it's understand, do you know how long the phone call takes? Do you know what your target market is? Do you know who you're supposed to be finding? Where you're getting your leads from? All those kind of things. But if you don't do anything and you don't track it and you don't put that accountability in place, it's very difficult to measure anything. It's very difficult to get better.
And I mean, for you to hold our team accountable, I mean, that happened overnight, right? You're just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hold them accountable.
I'm just gonna
It's
put it.
going to work.
I'm just gonna put in 100 rand fine if you don't do your to-dos.
Yeah.
Well, couldn't do that. Jeepers, couldn't have a team there. We had to slowly introduce it and go, okay, right, this is how we're going to measure everybody. And we're going to say this. And then for a month, we measured everybody. Okay, these people are doing it and these people are not. Okay, great. So why are you not doing it? Oh, I was just really tired this week and we had a lot going on. Okay, great. So could you have done it? Well, if I wasn't so tired. Okay. Right. So after a month of doing that, then it was okay. You're still not doing it. Well, right now we're going to put some what do you think should be the consequences?
Mm.
If you don't do your to dos, what do you think should be the consequences? Ah, well, and it's helping people understand if you don't do what you do, it affects me.
Yeah.
Because if you're the sales rep and you're not out making phone calls, you're not selling and closing deals, well, in 3 months' time, you're not going to have any money in the business and I can't pay you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think like that. They think I rock up to work and you must pay me.
Because there's a money tree at the back that the boss goes and gets the money from, and that's how we can get paid.
Correct. And I mean, the boss has a fancy car and the boss has a fancy house.
Mm.
So, of course, it's,
We've got money. What are you talking about? Just because I didn't do my job, somebody else must have done their job in the business.
and this is where it becomes so challenging, is because it's helping people. And it's not easy because, I mean, you asked me, like, driving that accountability in our team, really hard. But it started with me. I had to be, am I willing to be accountable for me?
Yeah.
Am I willing to, I haven't done this, right, let me deliver on the things that I need to deliver on. Then I can ask you to deliver on the things you need to deliver on. Then I can go, okay, cool. So now we have a team meeting. And if we're going to start measuring how much work everybody does, these were your to-dos. You didn't do them. Okay, great. So, and then after that, and it's taken, 6 months for us to implement a fine system, a to-do system, like who's tracking the to-dos, those kind of things. And, it's been a process, but over time, suddenly we're starting to see results. We're starting to see, and each person in the team is holding themselves accountable, as opposed to before I was the only one holding everyone accountable.
Yeah. Well, you're the boss, so you've got to hold us accountable, right? So it wasn't, and that's an interesting one, because it wasn't like you don't have a business card that has CEO on it, but it was like Nicole's in charge, so you must hold us accountable.
Yeah.
And that caused a lot of friction in the
But
team.
but where does that come from? School, because at school you have the teacher that holds you accountable,
Yeah.
and then everybody else is trying to jump the system at school
Mm.
because you know you've got teacher's pet who wants to do everything for the teacher, so they'll do all the work, and then the rest of us are trying to remember. Oh, flip, we had homework, and I still had. Oh, we were supposed to. Haven't done mine. Have you done yours? Okay, quickly, let's just copy from each other, and then we're in cahoots with each other, and then teacher's pet is going, teacher. And then we really want to nail the teacher's head, and then we start.
The real stamp collector.
Correct. We start stamp collecting seriously on a big time note, and then and so that just from school filters into business.
Yeah.
And we are not taught how to think. We're not taught how to problem solve. We're not taught. We are taught if you fail, it's an issue.
Yeah, big time.
And that's
You get it
where
wrong. Yeah.
you employ this new sales rep, and they're just going, yes, 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 yes. Because they're so terrified of failing or upsetting somebody that they'd rather say yes and be a people pleaser than actually go, no,
I don't expand that.
I don't understand that, or explain that to me again, or no, I don't agree with that.
I mean, even like something as simple as a contract, right? Like you don't have to agree to the contract. You can actually say, no, I disagree with this piece here because I'm not going to be I'm going to have to be held accountable to something so crazy, and I'm here on probation. Like I just started, and it's funny because you did something like that to our new soldier, but I think it was their first or second meeting, and we had given them this huge task to do, and you were like, is that the right thing to do early on? But the rest of us were like, yeah, sure. And what did they do? Oh, yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, I can do that. And I'm like, but even like I look today and I'm going, okay, so you had 2 sales in the last week, and then you're committing that you're going to do 50 by next week. But you only did 2 this week. How are you going to do 50
Yeah.
or 40 in the next week? And no, I can. No, that wasn't the question. The question is, how are you going to do that? Because I know that was the target at the beginning of the month, but I want to know, how are you going to get to 50?
Yeah.
If you've only done 2 in the last week and you need to do 40 by next week. There's a difference.
Yep. I mean, I feel like that how is more so of like from the way I thought about it was so I can hold you accountable to it. Right? It's not just I don't want to yes, the process of how you're gonna do it is what I'm gonna know. Correct?
But I didn't ask you if you were going to do 40.
Yes. That wasn't the question.
I want to know, what are the steps you're going to take? Because exactly like you say, that's how you hold somebody accountable.
Yeah.
You said you're going to make 50 calls. Well,
Did you make the 50
did you make
calls?
50
Did you have
calls?
a call sheet?
Okay, so out of the 50 calls, what are your results?
Yeah.
How many people did you convert? Or whatever it is, how many people feed through the door? How many people walk through the door? How many pairs of shoes did you sell? Whatever it is. But if you are not measuring what that person is doing, measuring their ability, then there is no accountability.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you got a sales rep and they saying the leads suck, it's the social media guy's fault because the leads suck. But
Based off what?
if you haven't made the calls, how can you prove that the leads suck?
You made 3 calls. You saying leads suck. How?
But if you've made 100 calls, and you can turn around and say the leads suck. But how do we know if the leads suck? Maybe it's your conversation. Maybe you're just blunt and obnoxious, and maybe that sucks. But if you're not making the calls, we'll never find out at what point in the chain there's a weak link.
Yeah.
And that's where people get it so wrong, is because it's so easy to blame for the leads suck. So I can't, or the market's down. There's no point in me making calls because the market's really bad at the moment. In real estate, the market's really flat. So there's no point in me making calls to.
Where's not? The seller's market, it's not buyer's market. I still didn't understand that, but okay.
But, and like, are you making calls?
RTP, yeah.
Like, are you finding people? Are you finding and saying, "Hey, man, you were interested in a house 2 months ago. Have you found something?"
Mm.
I mean, I was blown away by how many people. Um, recently we were looking at apartments, and the number of people that Michaela phoned to say, "I'm interested in an apartment," and they never even phoned her back. These are real estate agents' numbers that, I'm interested in this specific property.
Mm.
Not even a message back to say, "Sorry, the property's gone," or
Yeah.
that.
Is there something else I could show you? Just
Correct. So and there's no thought process behind it. But again, who's holding
then
that
accountable.
person accountable to the calls?
Mm.
And generally, there isn't somebody. And most people are not capable of holding themselves accountable. And I know for me, I had to find somebody who was willing to hold me accountable.
Ooh.
And I had to be willing to be held accountable. And now, in terms of our team, we all hold each other accountable. Why? Because, well, there's fines for all of us. It's not just the team that gets fined. It's everybody. And you know what? If you don't write your stuff on the board, you get fined. And I don't care if you are a manager or the owner, or
Nope.
it doesn't matter. The rules apply to everybody. And that's one of the challenges, is that in South Africa particularly, and you know, maybe different in other countries,
Yeah.
rules don't seem to matter in this country.
No, no, no.
Well, the rules for you are different from the rules for me.
Yeah, I mean, I saw something that said rules were made for, in South Africa, rules were made for people without money.
I haven't heard that one before.
Because the people with the money are the ones who break all the rules. They're the corrupt ones. That was the context of, and that's the weird thing about social media. You've got to, and we spoke about it last week. Context is so important, guys. You can't, the picture and the copy they don't go together. But I thought about that and I was like, but where has that behavior come from?
So, and irony is, it's actually the wealthy who make the rules
Yeah.
so that they can get away with a whole lot of things.
Then they know how to work the system, right? When people talk about tax the wealthy, you don't know how they've worked the system to be able to avoid paying tax, not pay tax, avoid paying as much tax as you pay.
Correct. And I mean, Robert Kiyosaki teaches, investors pay 0% tax.
Mm.
Employees pay 45% tax.
Yep.
Investors pay zero.
Yep.
Why? Because investors have lots of money and they know how to be accountable with their money, and they know how to use it in the right places. And so,
Yeah, that just went full circle. Sorry, continue. That was incredible.
and that's what happens, is because the wealthy they know how to look after their money, so therefore they can use the rules to their benefit.
Yes.
And pay 0% tax.
Yeah.
Whereas employees are not good with their money. They're not accountable. They spend it wherever they like. They do whatever they like. And so they don't have that benefit.
Mm.
And it's always fascinating when you look at things from a different perspective.
Yeah, those benefits are actually available to everybody. It's not just people with it's it's people who are willing to go and learn something and learn about something and go, okay, how do I play the game? How can I still, because they're still accountable to the taxman.
Yes.
They still very much are accountable to the taxman, but they figured out how to reduce the amount that they have to be accountable for. Whereas employees don't know that because it's easier to just stand and play, right? It's play at the rate.
But also that they don't have any choice because the government has set it up so that the rules apply. So the government takes their money before they even see it.
Mm.
I mean, most people, if you ask them what is their biggest expense,
They'll probably say like the house or whatever.
they'll say their
House or
rent.
their rent, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm.
But most people don't know that their biggest expense is tax.
Yeah.
Because they don't see that money. It gets taken off before
You see it.
before they even get paid it. So they don't even realize their biggest expense is tax.
Yeah, and you just kind of bumper, and that's you not being accountable for your money.
Correct.
You said
You're
that
not
spot on, actually.
accountable with your money.
Yeah, you're not asking the right questions to find out. Wait, why am I paying that much?
And how do I pay less?
Yeah.
How can I make the system work for me? And this is where it's just for that's what everybody else does, so I'll just do and I'll stamp collect.
No.
Well, I'm collecting the wrong stamps.
Traveling nowhere.
Yep.
Okay. So, as we like to end, what do I do to hold myself accountable first and foremost? What can I be?
Well, I think the biggest thing is what do you know you need to do?
Okay.
So a lot of us know we need to do certain things.
Yeah.
So, for example, maybe it's an exercise program. I know that I should be exercising 3 times a week. Well, you need to start holding yourself accountable to do that. So find somebody that can hold you accountable for. So for me, it's a partner that I go to CrossFit with.
Yeah.
And every morning at 5 o'clock, we message each other, see you at CrossFit.
Yes.
And I always know if I don't get a message from her, I can see her.
It's CrossFit.
And I have learned over the period of the last 2 years of, well, I have a choice. Either I can show up anyway, and then I can give her a hard time, or I can not show up and go into agreement with her.
But is it not? It's not. See, people will take the word off. Not give her a hard time. Hold her accountable.
Correct. Because if I go, then I'm going to say, where were you this morning?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get enough sleep last night. But why? What happened? Okay, cool. So your baby was up crying all night. No problem. I understand. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. But, I was sitting up watching movies until 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, no, that's not okay.
That's a problem.
Okay. We agreed we'd go to, CrossFit together.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I going to see you there tomorrow morning?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, let's meet there tomorrow morning. And so it's putting somebody in place that is going to help you hold yourself to that standard.
How do you find that person?
Well, sometimes you're going to go through quite a few people, but yeah, it's about asking.
Okay.
Are you willing to hold me accountable? Are you willing to help me? And often if you say to people, are you willing to help me? Most people will say yes.
Yeah.
But then it becomes, do they actually help you?
So you've got to be able to
So
see if they are.
let's say I decide I'm going to not eat sugar for a week. And I say to everybody at work, okay, I'm not eating sugar for a week. Please, can you guys help me? And then you arrive at work tomorrow and the person who said yes suddenly brings out chocolate cake and goes, yeah, have a piece of chocolate cake. Well, then that's not the person you want holding you accountable. Ask someone else.
Yeah.
And just say, are you willing to help me? And then say, the last person I asked did this. I
Yep.
hope you're not going to do that.
So sort of be very clear on what you want to be held accountable for.
Yes.
Can't just say hold me accountable.
But it goes back to what we discussed in the very beginning. Are you clear on what you want to be held accountable to? So can you ask me every day at 3 o'clock, have I drunk my 2 liters of water?
Ooh, because now you're putting a time on it. You're making it a lot more
specific.
Here we go.
And you are clear on what you need to do to hold me accountable.
Yeah. I just need to message you, Nicole, have you drunk your 2 liters of water?
It's easy. Set an alarm on your phone and send me a message every day at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Will you do that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Can we start tomorrow? Sure. Perfect. Now you've got somebody. And if I don't hear from you on day 1, day 2, then I know you're the wrong person. Then I've got to ask somebody else. Or you can ask 5 people at once and get 5 messages.
Ooh.
And see who holds you accountable the most, and that's the person you're going to respond to.
Yeah, that shoots up your level of accountability, right? Because 5 people, that's a lot of messages to get about drinking water.
But understand, half of them aren't going to do it. So, and that's where you can start to create accountability for yourself in sort of not important areas, and then you can bring that behavior and those patterns into more important areas in your life.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like You can actually do that in the workplace, right? As well. You can go to your manager or to your boss or one of your other sales reps, people, and say, can you hold me accountable to doing X? And like you say, it starts off small, which would, but it has to be important for your life, right? It can't just be, can you hold me accountable to waking up? It's like,
And you're only accountable to breathing.
yeah. It has to be like something
It has to be
significant.
something that can be measured,
Yeah.
can be improved,
Mm,
and can be worked on.
I like that. Anything else?
I think that's the biggest thing is that are you willing to look at yourself? And once you can look at yourself, then you can look at others.
Mm. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. If you guys, and this is also, I actually think the 30-day, I always get it wrong. The 30-day green zone challenge. Yes?
Green Zone Daily Ritual.
Green, yeah. The 30-day green zone daily ritual is actually a great way to also put in some accountability with yourself. That's a great point, like a great place to start. And as always, it will be in the link will be in in the description. You guys can download it from there. Nicole put a lot of work into it, and it will be very valuable to you to start holding yourself accountable. I think that's important in terms of like what Nicole was saying. If you can hold yourself, you can start holding yourself accountable, then you can start asking other people to hold you accountable, and then you can hold other people accountable. Most people are going the other way with
Trying to hold everybody else accountable. They're not worried about
no,
themselves.
not me. It's not me. Thank you guys for watching. As always, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Share this episode with somebody. Share this episode with your team. I think this is a great thing to put into your teams. How can you guys hold each other accountable? If you guys have any questions or any comments, comment section is wide open. If you guys have any questions for Nicole, pop them in and I will make sure that she answers them for you.
Cool.
Thank you guys. See you next week.
Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.